Minnesota 5, March 27, 2019. All right. I was watching CBSN, and everything I'm going to say is basically it is based on what I heard from CBSN. That's my source, or CBS News. And this is about the Jussie Smollett. And so I'm just going to say alleged. I don't know. What they're saying is that 16 felony counts against Jussie Smollett. The charges were dropped. 16 felony counts or charges were dropped against Jussie Smollett. The but there are some powerful politicians in the city of Chicago that are very upset or appear to be upset. The Chicago DA's office dropped all 16 powerful politicians, Chicago politicians like Mayor Emanuel and what's his name? Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson is the superintendent, the police department superintendent, Eddie Johnson. Totally just upset that the Chicago DA office dropped all charges against Jussie Smollett. Let me see. Now, everyone knows that, according to the media, that Jussie Smollett orientation. He is a gay black man. The story goes, at first he was said that two white males attacked him at 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 something in the morning in Chicago on one of the coldest nights in the history of America. That is the night or the time when the country was under or being affected by the polar vortex. So this was about a month ago when it was extremely cold 1 month ago. 5, 6 weeks ago. And here in Minnesota, it got down during the polar vortex. It got down to like 60 below, 60 minus 60 degrees. Very cold for at least 6-7 days straight. It was just extremely cold. And Chicago is, not very far from Minneapolis or whatnot. It's probably an 8-hour drive. So pretty much the temperatures, it's pretty much the same. It's probably a little slightly colder in Minnesota, but if it's like 50, 60 below here in Minnesota, it's almost, around 30 something, 40 something, 50 below in Chicago. So he said that allegedly he was attacked that night when it was extremely cold, and he was going out for, I guess, a Subway at 2 something in the morning in Chicago. But he alleged that he was attacked by two white males wearing mega hats or Make America Great hats. And he's alleged that they poured bleach on him and alleged that they also put a noose around his neck. And now according to, well, I guess after it's been investigated by the Chicago Police Department, the FBI, it has been discovered that Mr. Smollett basically made the whole thing up. And it is alleged that the reason why he made this story up is because he was not satisfied with his, I guess, his income, his payment from Empire, his salary. He did not agree with his salary, so this was an attempt to. That is what believe has that Mr. Smollett has that played sympathy and empathy just to further his career. So my thing is, if this is all true, then yes, he's wrong. He's wrong for that. Because if you look at the history of this country, if you study the history of this country, and even to this day, it's still fucked up. Whereas, black folks are treated like animals, or worse than animals, in many cases. Not saying all white people are racist, because not all white people are racist, but the policies of this country is dictated by racism. A lot of, you know, practices. There are laws that are on the books to protect black people, but are these laws enforced? No, no. These laws are not enforced because black people still find themselves, or you know, find themselves being victimized by a very racist and unjust system, or unjust system, or unjust system. It's America, baby. So what he did, if he actually did, if it actually happened that way, if he made it seem like it was based, his attacks were based on his race, and he just made the whole fucking thing up, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Because there are black folks that are attacked on a daily basis all across this country. And I think if he really did just fucking make this shit up, then it's going to be that much harder for black people to that are actually attacked or victims of racial attacks. It'll make it that much harder for them for people to believe them. And the same with people that are homosexual or whatever, lesbian or LGBT, whatever Q. It'll be that much harder for them to be believed if someone attacks them based on their sexual orientation or sexual preference. So if he made this shit up, just to boost his career, to boost his career and to, yeah, I think it would be, it's fucked up because they're black folks, I mean, legitimately have legitimate grievances, who are attacked and are killed all across this country by these rednecks. And a lot of these rednecks are in uniform, these race soldiers. So I could understand why the police department superintendent Eddie Johnson and Mayor Emanuel is pissed off. I could understand that because that is a travesty of justice. You don't play like that, dude. But in saying that, am I happy that all 16 felony counts were dropped? Am I happy that those felonies were dropped? That he I'm happy to a degree. Yes, I am happy, but because seldom do you see black people win whenever they are victims or brought up on any charges, or whether the charges are accurate or inaccurate, whether they're guilty or not. Especially those that are innocent. So I'm happy that he's off. I'm happy yeah. I'm happy that all the charges were dropped. But he need his ass kicked. He really do need his fucking ass kicked. He need his ass kicked, man. Somebody in his family beat his ass for that shit, for what he did. That was fucked up. And some people believe it was orchestrated. Some people believe that there are powerful people behind the scenes that orchestrated that shit. That could have been political shit, political move. Some people say that he has ties, affiliations with Kamala Harris, Booker, what's his name? Cory Booker. I don't know how true that is, but you hear a lot of shit over social media, and you know, but it could be a conspiracy. It could be something bigger than we could ever fathom. You never know. And it could be a ploy or an attempt to sway LGBT policies, supporting LGBT policies, because I've heard that they, by them signing this hate bill too, the House hate bill, that works in favor of the LGBT too. The thing is, if you look at a lot of the bills that are on the book to protect black people, because black folks are the number one target, because you could be LGBT but be white. Okay, you'll be hated because you're gay or whatnot. Some people will hate you because you're gay, but not everyone. There are more people that you will probably catch more flack, more anger, simply based on the color of your skin versus your sexual orientation. Homosexuals or LGBT community could never say that they have suffered or go through the shit that black people in this country go through. The only people that could say that they go through some real shit, would be those LGBT people that are folks that are black. Now they go through some shit, but even before their sexual orientation or preferences even revealed, that skin color don't lie, baby. That's the first thing they see, is that skin color. The skin color do not lie. The skin color is your first curse, your first target. When they see your skin, that's what they're going after. Those who hate black people or non-white people, they're going for your skin first. You know, many times they don't give a fuck whether you gay or not. They're going after your race, your blackness. That is your number one curse. That makes you a target before your sexual orientation even is brought up or even revealed or discovered. I reiterate, black folks are the number one, they are the number one targets in terms of hate in this country. So there are laws on the book to protect black people, but those laws are not enforced. So every other group is piggybacking, man, on laws that were created to protect black people in this country. The Jews, LGBT. Okay, there we go. Whew. So yeah, I don't get into the people of color and black folks. We should never let anyone to convince us or say, "Oh, we're people of color, we are minorities." And come on, man. Cool. When it's all said and done, those other groups, those other so-called people of color, minorities will look out for their group first. So when you think about minorities, that includes women too, you know, Hispanics, and on, Asians or whatnot, LGBT. So we, as foundational Black Americans, ADOS, American descendants of slaves or enslavement, if you will, if that's more politically correct, for a lot of you here that, you know, we as Black Americans, as foundational Americans, we got to look out for us first. So don't consider yourself. I know sometimes maybe it sound like I'm digressing, or I've digressed, but no, I haven't, because this all ties into what I'm saying or about to say. We have to think of ourselves as us first. We've fought and we've died and bled for so that other groups could come here, and then a lot of these people come here and they shit on us. So a lot of the laws that were written to protect Black people, not everyone is protected under these laws, and they're not even prosecuted or persecuted or murdered or attacked at the levels that Black folks are attacked. They are not targeted like we are targeted, or on a daily basis. So it's bullshit. So yes, I'm somewhat pissed off at Justice Smollett for what he did, because it could be, like I said, some people, I've heard that it could be he did it because it's an agenda, it's a conspiracy. Maybe it works in favor of LGBTQ. So maybe what they were saying is that that is why he created such a hoax. Why because okay, he obviously he's Black, but it seemed like him being attacked based on his sexual orientation kind of took precedence or got more attention than him being Black. You see what I'm saying? If you go back and look at a lot of comments or videos or news clips or whatnot, of course they were talking about him, being racially targeted, but people were predominantly focusing on his sexual orientation and talking about how this is such an attack on first LGBT community, and how racist it is. But it's an attack on the LGBT community and it's racist. Second. So I'm glad he got off. But he needs his ass whipped. Somebody in his family to kick his ass, because that make it that much harder for Black people that are targeted by rednecks, by these racist assholes, and they try to bring, their situation to light, and you're gonna have people that's gonna be like, "Oh, we don't believe you because look what happened to this Black guy. Look what he did. He wore a mega hat and he claimed to be attacked by white guys and blah 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 blah." So it looks it kind of hurts. I think it hurts us more, the Black community more than anything, and it gives more. I think it helps the LGBT community more than it would the Black community. So maybe I shouldn't be happy that he got off. Maybe his ass should have gone to jail. You know. But every day around all across this country, white men do shit and they get away with it. So yeah, it is what it is. But that's for another. Be good. Joyous on Michael Avenatti, the corrupt ass lawyer. So Representative Stormy Daniels against Donald Trump and the hush hush scandal. Yeah, for money. Be good.